Have you heard about Phyllis hair? In this thin filament of lava, they're forming when lava is falling over an edge and the wind is blowing. You can find this kind of formation. They cool down very quickly and look like hairs. And in reality, they're actually quite hard to find. And that's because they break very easily, so they turn into dust very quickly soon after the formation. So I have some ice. Do you want to see what's happening if I put it on top? Yeah? So just before that, I just have a few flash over there on the balcony, if it's possible. So I'm going to put the ice on top, and another one actually just next to it. Well, it's up, okay. So I'm going to put the ice on top, the lava is going to cool down very quickly. And when lava is cooling down very quickly, there is no time for crystal to appear inside the lava. And you're just turning the lava into what it's most made of. And it's most made of silica, 47%. So just turning the lava into a volcanic glass. So what's happening here is some of the steam is going up, but some of it is being pushed and forced inside the lava and make it blow like a balloon. And that's what you can see here. It's just the steam trying to escape, but at the same time lava is getting more solid, it's kind of stuck there. Of course, if the lava is too thin, it might go through, and everything could collapse like a souffle. And you can see where I put the ice on top, it's turning black very quickly. Just turning into volcanic glass. And behind, in the channel, lava is not moving anymore. But inside is still very hot and liquid. And that's because lava, it's cooling down over the edge of the flow. And by doing so, it's actually insulating the lava flowing inside it. So in nature, in the open, lava is losing around 100 degrees Celsius every kilometer it's flowing. But when traveling under its own insulation, like it's doing in the channel at the moment, it's just losing 1 degree. So it can stay hot for a very long time and travel a very long distance underneath. And because of that, I can go under it and I can lift it. Yeah, I know, I'm very strong. And that's because it's really from the edge, or at least where I'm lifting it. But inside it's still very hot and liquid. And if lava is flowing on a slope in nature, maybe the lava... They're in good shape over there. So if the lava is falling down a slope in nature, maybe the lava will be able to flow out of its own insulation. And if the lava is flowing out, you will just leave an empty tunnel behind. And that's the way to do a lava tunnel or lava tube. And you can see here that inside it's still very hot. So it's way more viscous, of course, but still very hot. And the same thing is happening in the front. In the front here, lava is getting more solid, but underneath still liquid. So let's see if I can show you. So you can see inside, still very hot. And actually I can go in, lift it, and I can do the Pellé's hairs almost like the stars. And that's because in this area, the lava hasn't lost a lot of temperature yet. And you can see that just by the color. It's still yellow. So yellow is kind of the hottest color we have here. Of course, all the color are pretty hot, but yellow is kind of the hottest one in this condition. And you can see that still in some area, it's still getting more viscous, of course. And when it's getting thinner, it's cooling down way faster. And you can see it here, it's actually turning black very quickly in some area. And when it's actually dark, it breaks very easily. So one more. You can see it's getting very viscous here. It's also very hot. And one stuck. So you can also see when it's cooling down, it's getting more viscous and it's actually sticking to the rod here. Will I succeed? Lava or the French guy? Lava might win. But you know what? I have another stick. One good. Yeah, I always have a backup stick. Can you hear the lava making sound? It's not very loud at the moment, it's going to be louder later. And this sound is just lava cooling down. And what's happening, it's lava. When it's a liquid, it's taking more space than when it's a solid. So when cooling down, it's actually contracting on itself. At the same time it's contracting, it's getting more solid. So it's making cracks and fissure into it. And that's what you can hear. It's just the lava breaking itself apart. And because of this cracking, especially in the pipe area, over here at the top, I'm going to put some protection on it. It's just to be completely safe. So in the next 5-10 minutes, you're going to hear a lot of sounds coming from this area. It's totally normal. And this cracking, it will make the lava feel quite dangerous a long time after an eruption is over. For example, the eruption from 2021, you can go there and check the lava field cooling down. And that's okay. But some people walking on it. And this can be very dangerous. Because first, lava could be very hot. Depending on the amount of lava you on top of each other, it can take years, and sometimes hundreds of years, to cool down completely. But if you're also walking on top of a lava tunnel, and if the roof of this tunnel is not thick enough, it could just collapse. You have the cracks and fissure when cooling down. And under that, lava could be very hot, because it's a very good insulator. And that's why you have to wait a very long time after an eruption is over to be able to go in the lava safely. And I'm saying that because you could see a lot of people walking on it, and sometimes a search and rescue team to come and help them. So if you go to a newly formed lava field, depending on the condition, it could be okay. But just stay on the path. It's not worth it to go on top, at least for a few years after an eruption. So here in the front, you can see I have like a bubble. I've got another one in the front that didn't survive. So it's completely dark, but if I break it, first you're going to see it's actually very thin. And inside, now it's quite orange. And that's because even a thin layer of lava, it's enough to insulate the lava flowing inside it. And you can see here, like I can already lift it a lot, but it's still technically a liquid. Way more viscous than before, but still a liquid. And if I check the temperature, so we'll put the ice on top first. Lava is around 420 Celsius, 800 Fahrenheit. Well, that's still hot, but way lower than what we had at the start. But if I check in the bubble, in the place I just lifted it, it's 1570 Fahrenheit, 850 Celsius. So way more. And that's because it was protected by this certified lava on top. And here, I have some paper. I'm going to put it in the bubble. Catching fire pretty quickly. And I have a tip for you to know the temperature of the lava. When lava is above 600 Celsius, 1100 Fahrenheit, that's when the lava is still emitting light. Red, orange, this kind of color. But when it's below this temperature, it's when the lava is taking a dark color. So if you see that lava is still glowing, that's when it's still above 600 Celsius, 1100 Fahrenheit. Is it going to help you to know if you can touch it? Yeah, not really. That's the only tip I got. But that shows you something. That shows you that even when it's dark, like it is on the surface in some area, it doesn't mean it's cold. It can still be hot, and for a very long time. So if you're not sure about the temperature of the lava when going to lava field, just don't touch it. Yeah, I know that's very obvious, but I was at the eruption 2 years ago. It was not so obvious for everyone, so I just prefer to say it, just in case. I'm just putting some lights on. The lava starts to cool down. You can hear the slight cracking a little bit more behind. And here in the front, on the surface, lava is turning into volcanic glass. And that's because it's cooling down very fast. But if lava would have more time to cool down, we'd have time for crystal to appear inside the lava. And at the end, when the lava will be completely solidified, it would look like this here. So these gray rocks around the slide, it's also basalt, but it's a crystallized basalt. But if I take this rock, put it in the furnace in the back, and melt it, you will get out the same way as we just saw. And that's because it's the same composition, it's just a different speed of cooling down. And the black sand here, that's what we use first to do the lava, so it's also basalt. But this one exploded on Katla 100 years ago. So all three things, they look completely different from each other, but same composition. Just different process of formation. Any questions so far? Like I don't see most of you, so if you have a question, just say it. And I have a question. Yeah, go for it. Sorry? Can I free the other stick? Yeah, I could. Like it should be okay now. Woo. It's done. Yeah, I just need to make it like cool down a little bit, and then it's fine. But now I have still this lava at the end of it, so and they told me not to put it on the concrete. The concrete, you know, it's fine, like it's not gonna burn, but I still damage it sometimes. But you know what? We don't care. And you can see it's still like pretty reddish inside. Over here. And this lava you have in front of you is not going to take years to cool down. And that's because we have way less lava than what you will find during an eruption. But if you don't touch it in the thickest part, and just going to be in this area over here, it can still take up to 3 days to cool down to room temperature. That's quite a long time, and we can't really wait that long because we have several show a day. So during the show, starting to break it, and smaller pieces release the heat faster. But that's still not enough. So you just have to clean when it's hot. So after the show, Mario is going to come back with big gloves, and he's going to use very high-tech equipment, like a pitchfork and a bucket. And he's just going to put all lava back into big buckets. And we're going to leave the buckets in the back. And generally, we use the same lava, not for the next show, but for the one after that. We have 2 batches of lava, we're just using one after the other. We always remelting the lava we're doing. And here I'm just breaking a piece to show you again that inside it's still very hot. Look. You can really see the insulation working. So it's dark on the outside, cool down faster. And that allows the inside to stay hot way longer. Now you have to imagine when you have more lava, then it takes a way longer time to cool down completely toward the center. The eruption from 21, so the one from 4 years ago, I think last year some scientists went there to check the temperature and all the stuff. And the surface was cold. But they checked the temperature in some lava tunnel underneath, and it was still around 400 Celsius, 800 Fahrenheit. So it can really stay hot for a very long time. It just depends on how much lava you have. Same thing here for this piece, actually hotter than the previous one. Yeah, so this one is really orange. Now when you look at this volcanic glass, you may be thinking about another kind of volcanic glass. Have you heard about obsidian? Or dragon glass, for the ones that remember. And I think we have a few Minecraft also today. So obsidian, it's the same thing. It's a lava that cools down very quickly and turns into a volcanic glass. Except it's from a different lava. This one here, it's from basalt, 47% silica. When obsidian is from a lava called rhyolite, and rhyolite is between 65 to 90% silica, so way more. And the main difference is kind of the solidity. Both are very sharp. It's not a problem. If I break this, it's very sharp. Obsidian too. But obsidian is way stronger in a way that if you try to shape it, it's a bit like flintstone. You can make something out of it. And that's why a lot of civilizations in the past use it for tools and weapons. This one is not so obvious right now, but when it cools down, it's actually very brittle. It breaks very easily. So easily that if you try to shape it, most of the time it's going to break randomly. It's not impossible to do something with it. It's just way hard. But if you want to say that you saw obsidian today, I'm okay with that. Or I must do the same. Actually, let's see if I can break in the front. So here is where the lava is the thicker. And because of that, I don't think I will be able to break it yet. Because it's still glowing in some area. That means the center is not completely solidified. I could try to smash it harder. I could try. But if I smash it harder, there's a risk of pieces flying around. And I know that the third row on the balcony, they don't care. Yeah, of course, look at that. She don't think about you. Higher up people. But no, I don't. Even if I protect this side with my body generally, if you're on your own over there. But yeah, no, I will not do it. I like my job. So I just have to wait a little bit and we're going to check that later. Any question? Like I said, just say it, because I don't. So waiting for that to cool down, I'm going to say a few words about what's going on in Iceland. I don't know if you're aware of, but we got a few eruptions in the past 4 years. And even more in the last year. Because since December 23, we got 7 eruptions. So we got one in December 23, January, February, March, May, August, and the last one was in November. And all these eruptions are happening in the same place. It's basically east of Blue Lagoon and the power station there, and north of Grindavik. It's a small town on the south coast that got evacuated more than a year ago. And all this eruption is what we call a fissure eruption. So what is that? Well, that's basically a big fissure in the ground. And lava is going up everywhere, making big lava fountain and lava flow. And this fissure can be pretty big. On the last 7 eruptions, it was between 1 to 6 kilometers long, half a mile to 4 miles long. And that produced a huge amount of lava. So much lava, we couldn't avoid some destruction. The one in January last year destroyed a few houses in Grindavik. The one in February destroyed the access to go to Blue Lagoon and also a pipe of hot water. And this pipe of hot water was a big problem. It was coming from the power station and going toward the airport and all the town around it. And in Iceland, we use the hot water for sink, shower, but most importantly, warming up the house. So for a week or so, they didn't get any heating. And at the time in February, it was minus 10 Celsius. American, freaking cold. So after a week, they removed the pipe, water was spraying again. And then the one in March, May, and November also destroyed the access to go to Blue Lagoon. But don't worry so much about Blue Lagoon. They're always rebuilding the road very fast. It's very important to go there. Anyone been to Blue Lagoon? Yeah. So you can back, that's good. Anyone planning to? Yeah. Not this guy. Are we waiting for the next eruption? So, Are we waiting for the next eruption? But that's okay to go to Blue Lagoon. Different reason. First one, Blue Lagoon is not on the volcano. Volcano is east of it. So yes, lava could flow towards it. We actually did it 4 times already. But it will need a few hours to reach the road and to destroy it again. And on top of that, Blue Lagoon is surrounded by big walls around it. That's actually pretty effective diverting the lava somewhere else. So these two things together make there is plenty of time for people to evacuate. If not, have you seen Dante's Peak? Oh, we have a few 90s people. So for the other two movies, the volcano, a hot spring, people swimming in, I'm going to say one word: lobster. Are you okay? No, I like to scare people, but that's okay to go there. And that's also because this volcano is not erupting suddenly. There is some warning. And the main warning is earthquake. So when the lava is going to go from the magma chamber toward the surface, it's going to push a lot of rocks around. And that makes hundreds to thousands of earthquakes from a few hours to like 15, 30 minutes before. So as soon as they see this form of earthquake, they start to evacuate. And they did it without any problem on the last 7 eruptions. And like I said, there's a few hours before the lava reached the road, so that's plenty of time. Last time they evacuated Blue Lagoon, they did it in 40 minutes. And there were like 1,000 people there, so no worries. And imagine you there, it's erupting, then you have a nice view, I don't know. Yeah, I would love to be there when it's happening. But I can't take a Blue Lagoon ticket every day until it's erupting, so a bit expensive. But yeah. And how do we know it's going to erupt again? Because one of the other signs is ground deformation. So when the lava piles up underground, so before going to the surface, it's actually lifting the ground above it a little bit. And this ground deformation, we can measure it. And since the end of the eruption in December, the ground is going up. So we know it's refilling. And if you compare that to the previous eruption, you could have an idea when it might be full again and erupt again. And it's been more than 3 weeks now that the scientists believe there's already enough lava to trigger a new eruption. That's why it could happen anytime soon. Could be tonight, in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's hard to know, but it's ready to erupt. And scientists actually estimate, also just by this ground deformation, we have the same amount, even more, than the one in August last year. And the one in August last year was the biggest of the 7. So we might wait for a big eruption. But don't worry so much, because when it's going to happen, they're going to close the whole area. So you're not going to end up in the area by mistake. Except if you're evacuating Blue Lagoon, of course. But otherwise, you're not going to be inside. And the only way to see it is from the main road. They don't let people my French, English is disappearing, sorry. So they don't let people go close to it. So on the road between the airport and Reykjavik, that's the only place you could see it. It's quite far away, but on the first day when it's going to happen, no problem, you're going to see it. Like we see the eruption from Reykjavik, so you're going to see it on the main road. It's not like in the video, they're talking about this touristic eruption 4 years ago. It's a way different situation these days. 4 years ago, it was actually a small eruption. Yes, it lasted for 6 months, but that was actually way smaller. And also it was in the valley. So it's actually quite safe to see the eruption from the mountain around it. This one, it's a flat area. It's a few kilometers long fissure. Lava go every direction, gas too. So it's actually very dangerous to get close by. So best way is from the main road, or of course the safest of the safest, it's a webcam. There is plenty of webcam around the volcano. We actually have them in the building on the TV. So if it's erupting, you could see it on the internet. It's on YouTube. It's for everyone to see. Any question about this eruption? Yeah?